In this video, I'm going to share with you what velo is. I'm going to talk about the historical aspects, how it came to be, the research behind it, and especially what it works for and how it is done. So bear with me, we are going to cover all of this. The roots of velo date from long time, since Buddha times, ancient times, and this specific energetic procedure has been used throughout all of this time in many different practices and areas and schools. And that's lovely, it's an excellent sign, because if a technique lasts that long and is used in many different traditions, it means it's really, really effective. However, throughout all of this period, and by being done in so many different ways, it started getting some characteristics that not necessarily bring the best results. And one of the interesting things is that with time, astroprojectors learned that by doing this technique, they would be able to produce a very intense vibration in their energy body, in all of their chakras, which is inducive to the conscious out-of-body experience. So it became then to become an important technique also for those who want to leave the body at will. And this is what we are going to cover. Why? What's the research that is behind this and how exactly it has to be done? I am Nanci Trivellato. It will be a pleasure to be here with you in this video. If you are here for the first time, please consider subscribing. And if you enjoyed this video and learned something with it, remember to give me a thumbs up. That makes a big difference. And let's jump to the topic. Then, what exactly velo is? Velo is an acronym for voluntary, energetic, longitudinal oscillation. This name was coined by myself due to a research I did, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about it, not to be boring with many research details, but I need you to understand what is behind it, because velo is a method to apply this ancient technique that consists in creating an energy flow inside of our bodies, there at the root, at the core, at the center of our bodies, let's say, and this energy flow is in a constant rhythm, upwards or downwards, or explaining better, moves longitudinally throughout the body. That's why the name of velo, voluntary energetic longitudinal oscillation. When done correctly, velo can align all the chakras, but it's more than aligning. It's aligning, it's activating, it's putting all of them in a healthier condition with the energies more flexible. And I'm going to go through that with you in a moment, but here just to understand the overall idea. And by doing that, it may create some sort of resonance among all of the chakras. It's almost as if all of them are vibrating in unison. And this phenomenon is what is called vibrational state, which is very much known into the area of the study of out-of-body experience. But it's not only astroprojectors that experience it. On the contrary, this is an universal phenomenon that can happen to many different individuals in different conditions. For example, if you are meditating or if you are in a deep relaxation, in specific conditions. We want to understand how velo lead to this very special situation of having all the chakras activated and in alignment. I just want to make a parenthesis here, please allow me. Vibrational state is a very specific type of vibration that produces a very specific results. When we sense energy, very often we may sense it as vibrations. A vibration here or there, different frequencies, different types. The vibrational state is a very specific type of vibration. It's not just any vibration. But if you have had one, perhaps one day that you were relaxed, or maybe one day you were returning from your body, if you have out-of-body experiences, and then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And when we understand these effects, it helps us to understand velo and how the flow of energy can produce all of that. And I'm going to explain to you at the end of this video how you can do it and exactly why it works in this way. Let me tell you, from a personal perspective, what made me interested in studying this phenomenon and this technique. And I have spent over 15 years doing research on this topic. And what motivated me was something that started just more like a personal experience, because I've learned this technique and I've learned it in the way that astral projectors would practice, just aiming at making their energies more flexible to be able to leave the body at will and consciously. But I also knew that this technique was very good for helping us to be balanced, helping us to focus our mind, and so many other positive results that we can derive from the technique. But I noticed that sometimes I would practice the technique and I needed it and I was wanting very much to do it and have results. But I would have very superficial results. It's not that nothing would happen, but the results would be superficial, and in 15-20 minutes they were gone. Or 1 hour later, I was exactly in the same way I was before starting it. And therefore, that would reinforce even more that that was not the best practice. But in other moments, I would sense the energy different or focus on the energy with a different approach and be able to move it inside of my body in certain ways that I could remain many hours in such a great internal peace, in a condition that it's almost as if situations of life, and there are many that we have to face in our daily routine, every day, in many different situations, workplace, at home, with ourselves, but those situations would affect me much less or not affect me at all. It was almost as if inside of me I was balanced independently of what was going on outside. And that intrigued me. Why is it that sometimes I reach such a result and other times I don't? But the way I would practice the technique was the way I had been taught. Just move it fast, move it the way you can do it, and that's it. Little by little, I started observing that there were certain specific attributes or parameters, characteristics of this movement that I would do that would produce these greater results that I'm talking about. And then I had an opportunity to research individuals who already practice the technique. But I have analyzed hundreds of individuals in a longitudinal study, meaning I followed them up through 1 year. And it was not only 1 year that I did the study, it was many, because I wanted to be sure how the technique worked. So I would observe many different details of those individuals that I was following and that they were doing the technique. I would hear from them how often they would practice, how they would do the technique. I would see on them their posture, how they would face life in a way, because we can sense it when we talk to somebody. I would hear from them the quality of their sleep, their relationships, if they were stable or not, if they were peaceful and happy and feeling well inside of themselves or not. Many different situations that I would get the information from them. And on top of that, I would then also do a technical connection with their energies, meaning my energy connecting with theirs, just for me to sense what was going on in their energy field. And they would do the technique, so I would know this person moves the energy at this speed. I would sense it. Or this one moves, but the energy jumped from this point to that one. And anyway, many different things. I ended up analyzing and collecting 23 different aspects that are important for us to take into consideration to know what is going on with our energy when we are moving it up and down, and to know or to be able at least predict some of the possible results that the person would have. And I noticed that throughout the years, and the more I would examine and the more I would be able to collect some details, and observe on individuals, the more that would make sense. I first published the result of this study in 2008 in a paper. And then later on, I came to write a book that I have here just to show you. And the book is called Vibrational State and Energy Resonance. Why? Because what velo does is to create some sort of resonance to cleanse our energy, and then it can produce the vibrational state. I used many different types of methods of research here, but the book is available. It's quite a read. It's 500 pages. With some technical details, of course, I wanted to create basis for this study, but here you have the how to do, a manual, a guide on how to do the velo technique. My effort with this research and putting all of this data together is because I wanted to figure out what is the most effective way to do this technique, and that's what the velo method is, so that the good results would be accessible to anyone who wanted to put the effort to follow these guidelines. Let me explain to you a little bit the mechanism of velo. By the way, velo, velo, whichever way you like to pronounce it. I like pronouncing it as velo, but I know, especially in the United States, most people find it more natural to pronounce it like velo. So, in a nutshell, how velo works. To understand that, let us think of our energetic system, our energy body. So right now I am here inside of my physical body, as you are. Then all of our energy, like our chakras, the space between chakras, the meridians, the channels through which the energy flows inside of our energy body, all of that is here aligned. Because our consciousness, ourselves, we are also aligned and we are manifesting through the physical body. So just to make things simple, and let me cover this aspect. So while we are here, aligned with the physical body, each of our chakras and each part of our energy will have a different type of frequency, distribution, activity. So sometimes you can have a chakra that is too open. You can have another that is blocked. Or you could, for example, have encountered somebody in your daily life in that specific day, or maybe through an out-of-body experience, you encounter someone and you come with certain energy, and that sort of energy stays attached to your energy body, and it creates some sort of contamination. So your energy system is your own energy and many different components. When we talk about chakras, usually people think, well, 5, 6, 7, 10. I studied 12 of them just because they're those that are easier to examine or to analyze. However, there are many. The point is, because each of them, they have a different function and a different way of distributing the energies and pulsing and vibrating. When we do velo, we are organizing this activity of our energy body. So in a way, we are redistributing our energy because we start creating a flow that it's a steady flow. Therefore, we make the energy pass equally through all of the chakras and systems and spaces and energy fields that we have in our energetic system. And it's very important that it is in this way. Why? Because if we have one of those contaminations in our chakras, or a chakra that perhaps has a lot of old energy stuck in there and may even produce on us some traumas, some specific reactions, sometimes emotions that we cannot understand, or pattern of thoughts that we feel it's strange, it's intrusive, it's not exactly what we agree with. Nonetheless, it comes to our mind. All of these different things is related to energy. So all of that starts polluting and creating these different patterns in our energy. So there we go, moving steadily, so bringing all of that to an organized, even distribution of the energy. And therefore, little by little, it starts regulating the energy flow, the energy distribution, the activity of each of our chakras. And that produces amazing benefits. It, in a way, just to explain with a very simple analogy, as if we were massaging our chakras from the roots. It's not here, it's not in the surface, it's there, internal movement. It's very important to be internal, because then we go to the root of our chakras and we start adjusting things there. If there is something that is a trauma of ours from this life or from even a past life that still have that energy attached there, we will start moving it, stirring up, and therefore causing it to readjust, to redistribute, or even to simply dissipate. And that's why it's so important to do the technique in certain ways, because if it's not done in the appropriate way, what will happen is that naturally the movement of our energy will just detour, avoid areas in which we may have contaminations or energy blocks, or it becomes harder to move in certain specific parts of the body, or we move a very small quantity of our energies and we do not produce the effects we want. We do not get to the point of unblocking. We do not get to the point of creating a strong energy field around of us, like cleansing even our aura. We don't get to that. And that's why it has to be done in these specific ways in order to get all of the results. Now, no matter how you do, and no matter which energy practice you do, if it's ethical, if it's done appropriately, it will benefit you in some way if it's done appropriately, because some techniques, people do it in ways and in situations that instead of helping, end up creating more problems. But let's say if it's a well-developed technique and you know how it works and you apply appropriately, it will bring results, but different results. Here we are talking about a very specific thing. We are talking about a technique that has the potential of creating such a strong and balanced energy field around of you that even your connection with other people, relations we have, even perhaps spiritual companions, maybe spiritual presence that could be around of us, all of that starts balancing out because our energy is more balanced. What flows to others is more balanced. And when we start getting energy that is not consistent, that is not positive to us, automatically that is rejected. Why? Because there's no way for them to get stuck in our body, because in our energy body, because our energy body is in a very, very stable type of activity, of activation. And that's how velo works. That's why it's such a powerful technique. And that's why with time, it gives us almost like some sort of control over our energy body. It's almost like as if you reach some sort of control panel of your energy body, so you can make it get more activated. You can reduce activity. You can protect yourself. You can be more open. You can act in a way that it's easier for you to leave the body, or in a moment that you do not want, you manage to put your energy in a condition that you simply don't leave the body for whatever reason. Let's say you do not want to. That is giving you control. It's not only producing one effect. There are many effects. I'm going to comment just some of them with you. There are many. But the point is not the specific effects. It's the overall control. It's the balance that you achieve because of this energy flow right there inside, in the core of your energy body. Therefore, the core of your body here, not because it's physical, just because the two bodies are aligned. For all of this to work, we need some specific attributes of velo to be present. I call them attributes. They are characteristics, they are some elements that are present in the technique. I like calling them attributes. If those attributes are not present, we cannot call that technique velo, because it's not following the velo method. call it anything else. As I said in the beginning, so many different areas of study just found or created their own way of moving the energies up and down. Good. But it's quite important this, because otherwise we would hear other explanations on how to do velo, but then it's no longer velo because the characteristics of velo are not there. And that's what I'm trying to make you aware of here. Let me share with you some of the benefits and applications of velo. Because of the reinforcement that we create in our energy field and in all of our chakras, velo helps a lot to prevent or nullify intrusive energies. Energy that would come from outside, from different people, from the environment, that could be toxic to us. So that is very, very important. Another thing is that velo helps in our self-defense, inside the body and outside the body. By the way, it's super effective for this. That is the technique I use the most when I sense any sort of energy that is not positive around, or I'm getting a flow of energy from somebody, or maybe there is some sort of entity in an environment and I pick it. That is the technique I use, because that produces this intense self-defense, but also because that is going to prepare myself and make myself stronger to handle anything that could come from that. I want to emphasize that it's the very same technique that we use when we are in an out-of-body experience. When we apply the velo out there, it's easier, the results come very fast, and it's amazing how much it expands our lucidity. Sometimes we can even jump from one certain dimension or level that we are in the astral dimension and jump to a higher level, a better environment, because we change the condition of our energies, and therefore we are going to have affinity and connection with different types of environment. Because of this intensification of the strength, stability of our energy field and the cleansing that it produces, velo helps us to sleep better, because we relax better, because everything seems more clean around, our thoughts are more stable, we are more lucid of our dreams and lucid dreams, and that is, of course, something that will have multiple benefits throughout our lives. And the flexibility that velo produces results in a greater capacity to produce out-of-body experiences at will. But out-of-body experiences that are productive, stable, you are lucid, you know what to do, and you know how to handle energies when you are projected. So that is key here, I think. Velo also helps us to develop our psychic awareness. So in a way, we become more conscious, more aware of what happens in an environment or in a situation that is not something visible. It's in an energetic or spiritual level. And this gives us so many important information that we can use. And what I like about velo is that because it all derives from the same technique, you increase your psychic awareness, but you are also increasing your self-defense. You are also increasing your well-being exactly at the same level. So it's a very consistent technique. And it doesn't stop there. There's so much more. I have like 80 different applications of velo listed in the book, but I do not need to go through them here. I just want you to understand what velo is and how it works, and that's the point. Let's move on. Let me give you some essential tips on how you can start and practice the velo technique. By the way, let me mention to you that you have a video here in the channel that gives you the basic steps. But I want to give you here some tips that they are additional. They are the beginning, the first point that you need. If you want a complete course, it's also available. But what you need to do first is to have inside of you a strong decision that you will create this flow of the energy up and down inside your body. Because if we are just, okay, I'll do it, but, distracted, it doesn't work, because we need to focus our mind on the energy. And there comes the second aspect. Because after you have a strong decision, you will apply your will. So you need to focus your mind and want it to happen. And then you just create a pulse of the energies following inside your body. Don't worry much if you are sensing it or not. It will come. At the beginning, what you need is to know that you are applying decision, you really want to do it. That you are making an effort. It's not a physical effort. You are working with the energy body, but it's a concentration effort that you are concentrating and you really want the energy to move. And then you know that you are keeping attention on what you are doing. So with these aspects, you can move on into getting a more fluid flow and better results. The other thing I want to mention to you is that this is not a passive exercise. One of those that you just sit and sense energy and then you relax into whatever is happening. There are exercises like this. This is not. This is an exercise to teach you to act with your energy, to take control of your energy, to recognize what's going on with your energy or in your energetic field. Therefore, it's an active exercise. It's you actually making your energy move inside your body. So when you start the exercise, you can start from the top of your head, from your feet, or from any part. It doesn't matter because it's an oscillation. It will continue flowing. And what you have to do to start is to focus on the energy in that part, as if you are minding the energies. You have in your mind clearly the fact that you want to have control of your energy body. You want to act with your energy body, not with the physical body. So it doesn't matter if you are creating physical tension or if you are doing any physical movement. It's not going to help. Sometimes it can even hinder a little bit how the energy is flowing. So what you do is focus, get your decision there, and just start. What I would love that you take from this video is the idea that everyone is capable of sensing and controlling one's own energy. You can do it. It's not difficult. It's just a matter of a training, because in this life, we are not trained to sense energies, much less to sense the spiritual reality around of us. But we can train ourselves. And what we are trying to do here is to bring a scientific view to a spiritual phenomenon. And that means progress to ourselves, our evolution, our understanding of our nature, and to science in general. So I hope you learned something from this video. Remember to give me a thumbs up if you did. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thank you for being with me up to now. Bye-bye.